Hello my stamping friends, Susan here with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. I have a Stampin' Show and Tell for you today, and today we're going to be making a holiday card. This is with a new stamp set from the Summer Mini. I know it says summer, it's the July through January Mini Occasions catalog, and it features some holiday fun bundles. Now this is a Trees for Sale stamp set, which happens to coordinate with a set of dies that you can earn with a $100 order during celebration. So if you place a $100 order during celebration and you choose to get the dies that coordinate with this stamp set, the stamp set is one you buy from the mini catalog, but the dies you can earn for free from the celebration catalog, but you can use them together, which is kind of cool. So you could get the stamp set, and then I'm also using the Whimsical Woodland embossing folder, which is this fun trees. So right there, you're partway to your $100 order. Throw in some cardstock and some embellishments and you're there, and you could have really cute holiday cards with those free dies, which coordinate with the stamp set. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I did this card. I actually created it for a demo swap back in June when I got my pre-orders at Demonstrator, and I'm going to show you how I put it together today. I'm going to use my Stamparatus because I'm going to do this scenic panel, and like I said, I had to do 12 demo swaps, so I was making multiple cards. So if you were making multiple holiday cards, the Stamparatus might be a tool that you want to include in your supplies arsenal of tools for stamping cards. So I'm going to show you how I set it up from the very beginning, stamped my card, and then I'll put the card together for you. Okay? Alright, so first things first, let's do the stamping. So I'm going to bring in my Stamparatus. Okay? It's got these clear panels, swing arms, and the arms are mobile, we can move them around. And then I've got my piece of very vanilla cardstock that I'm going to do my stamping on. So I'm just going to use my 2 magnets to hold this down. Okay, now I've got my stamps, so I'm going to bring these in. So what we do to build our scene is we build them one stamp at a time, and then create the whole scene, and then we can do multiple sets of that scene quite easily. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to put my pole down that holds up my lights. So I'm just going to put that here. Okay, and then I use my arm, come down, I pick up that stamp on my arm. Okay, photopolymer, so we can see through everything, we can see our placement. I pull that up, and then what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and ink it. So I'm going to use my soft suede, add some ink, and now I'm going to stamp it on my panel. Okay, so now I'm going to have visual placement of that image on my card. Perfect. Alright, next I want to do some of the trees. So I want to do, actually let's do the lights next. Okay, so the lights are going to go across the top of the pole, right, coming down, and across my card. Okay, now because those overlap, I'm going to put them on the second arm. Okay, so 2 images, 2 arms, but they're going to co-stamp together to make my scene. Now that I'm also going to use my soft suede. It's kind of my neutral color there, and I stamp that down. Okay, now if you stamp with a Stamparatus and you don't get a clean image, you just ink it and stamp it again. Okay, that's not going to move when you have it position down with your magnets, or if you use a little adhesive underneath. Okay, now let's do the trees. So I've got the big tree. I'm going to put it down here kind of as an active edge, kind of on and off my cardstock, and then I'm going to put this tree, now I can move my magnet, I'll put this tree right about there. Okay, so they're going to be near each other but not right next to each other. And then I'm going to put those on this arm. So I'm going to put it with that other stamp. It's not going to be in the way, they don't overlap. I can just put that down, but I am going to, hopefully that didn't move too much, I am going to ink that up and stamp it so that I have position. Now here I'm using Pear Pizzazz. And remember, all my details will be on my blog post, so colors, measurements, supplies I used. So just hop on over to the blog to pick up more details for the project. Okay, so there's my first 2 trees. Now I want another tree. So I've got my 3rd tree from the set. So this one I'm going to position kind of up here, right? And I'm going to use this arm, because again they're not going to overlap, to add that to my scene. I'm going to move my magnet up a little bit, just to make it a little more secure. I'm going to ink that. Oh, I used the wrong color. What do you do when you use the wrong color? You just clean it off. Don't worry. I got my little chamois. Just clean it off. Alright, did not want that in brown. I wanted that in Pear Pizzazz. So I just inked that up, and I'm going to stamp that tree. Now, you might say, but wait, you still have this one on there. Don't you need to take it off? I don't, because my card didn't move. So even if I'm restamping it, it's going right over where it was. So I don't have to worry about that. So I've got my 2 stamps on the one arm, on the one side, and I'm just building my scene. Now, I want a 4th tree. Okay, well, I don't really want to pick up my trees, but look what I can do. I can pick up my arm. I can take it out, slide it over one. It's going to be right there overlapping. I could maybe slide it over 2. Let's see. Now it's too far off. Alright, slide it over 1. I'm going to re-ink it with the green, not the brown. And I'm going to stamp that down. Okay. So it's in line with that one in the back, but it's moved over a whole inch. Okay, so I've got these overlapping trees to create my scene. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to flip both arms over because I have more stamps to add. So these trees have detailed stamps that you could 2-step stamp over the top. So now I need to position these. So I'm going to move my magnet again, just slide it around so it's not in your way. So I've got one detailed tree, and I've got this skinnier detailed tree. I'm just going to put those right over the top, and because it's photopolymer, I can see my placement. And I'm going to swing this arm down, and I'm just going to grab those 2 stamps. Now, I could do same color on color, but I'm going to step it up color. I'm going to put garden green, so I'm going to be using 2 greens. And I just ink up the detailed stamp, flip it, stamp it. Like that. Alright, now I've got my smaller one with the detail as well. So I'm just going to put that there. Bring this down. Remember, I flipped it over. So I've got 2 stamps on one side. I'm putting the 3rd tree on the other side using my garden green. Ink that up. Stamp it. Now you see I've got some ink here, but it doesn't matter. It's not touching my card. If it really bothers you, use your chamois, clean it off. But other than maybe getting it on your fingers, you don't have to worry about getting it on your cardstock because it's going to keep it off your cardstock. And I just moved that down one, and I'm putting the other detail tree over the top. Okay, so look, there's my whole scene, right? But I'm going to add some more detail to it. Okay, so what am I going to add to it? First off, I'm going to bring in the little tiny snowflake and my pool party ink. So I'm going to add some snowflakes to the sky. Just going to repetitive stamp just to do some background stamping, right? Active edges, which is kind of fun. Alright, so there's my snowflakes. Now, what else do I want? Oh, the tree stand. Right, this has a cute tree stand. It's a tree lot, supposedly, so we could have a tree stand. So I've got my little tree stand on here. I'm going to use my soft suede. Just ink that up, and then just position that at the base of the trees. Right, give them a little more detail in the scenery. This one would be off, that one would be behind, so I'm not going to stamp those. Okay, there's that. Now, I'm going to bring in my red Stampin' Write marker. You could use colored pencils, you could use your blend marker, whatever you want. You could use different colors. I'm just going to do red, and you'll see when I do the card why I picked red, but I'm just going to add that there. Okay, so now I think my scene is done. I'm going to add a few embellishments, but we'll get there in just a minute. Alright, so I'm going to take this off. Now, watch how quick this is going to restamp. So setting it up took some time, right? Setting up took some time. But now it's all set up. So now if I want to recreate the same panel, okay, the same panel, and I don't even have to do it in the same order. Watch, I can start with my detailed trees. Okay, my detailed trees happen to be the ones that are on the arms facing up. So I'm going to move this over. I'm going to stamp my detailed tree. I'm going to stamp my detailed tree, which are kind of cute all by themselves. So that could be a whole nother project, just using those detailed trees. I slipped that one over one, re-ink it, and stamp that down. Now I'm going to flip these over because I did my details. Now I got to do my other sides, right? Alright, so now I'm going to use my Pear Pizzazz and I'm going to do the full body trees. And while I'm at it, I'm going to head and ink up the lights and the pole. And I flip the arm and I stamp this one down. And I flip this one down. I move this over one. I stamp that second tree. And I have a whole nother panel, right? Coloring my lights, I'm done. Stamp my snowflakes. But look how quick those arms let me recreate that panel, right? Like I said, I did a dozen of these for a swap. I think I did all 12 pieces like this in like 5 minutes. So you could easily do multiple cards for your holiday cards, right? Whether they're Christmas cards or birthday cards or Valentine's Day or whatever, with the Stamparatus tool and really just crank them right out. So I hope that helped you understand how to use the Stamparatus to 1, set up your scene, 2, build it with your different colors and placements, and then you can create it multiple times. Alright, so let's go back to the card from scratch. Alright, so I've got an envelope. I've got my card base. Okay, I'm just going to fold this in half and use my bone folder to give it a crease. Okay, so I just got a basic vanilla front. Now I'm going to use a panel with Pear Pizzazz, and like I said, I'm using the new Whimsical Woodland embossing folder. So I've run that through, and I'm going to add that to my card front as an embossed panel for background. All those fun trees, and I'm just going to put that on with my liquid adhesive. So I'm just going to run my crazy bead of adhesive there. Doesn't have to be too thick, remember, but just kind of put it everywhere. And then position that in. I'm just framing it in a little bit. Okay, so there's the front of my card. Now I'm going to build this up a little. I'm going to put this one aside because I've got more done on this one. But I have this little piece of DSP. This is from the Painted Christmas Designer Series paper, which was in last year's holiday catalog, and it's come back as a favorite. So I can use it again, and that's why I picked red for my lights, because I'm going to pair it with this red brick pattern down here. So I'm just going to put little adhesive on the back of that, and I'm going to position this overlapping, so I just pick up that little edge of decorative paper at the bottom. I'm a little bit long, so I'm just going to come in and give it a trim right up the side. No worries. Okay, now this piece, you could add it with dimensionals. I'm going to go ahead and just add it with my liquid adhesive because I have something else planned to go on dimensionals. I'll show you in just a minute. Okay. So I'm just going to flip this over, adding it to my card as my scene. Okay, good there. Alright, so now this set, get that little adhesive there. This set has fun little trees for sale and a little puppy. We're going to use them. So, my trees for sale I'm going to do in real red. So I've got that stamp. I'm just going to stamp that once, and then I'm going to stamp the puppy in the soft suede. And now I'm just going to use my scissors and trim these out. So, if you don't have dies, right, like I said, this set has coordinating dies in the Celebration catalog, but Celebration is only July and August. So if you miss out on getting the Celebration coordinating dies, just use your scissors, right? Fussy cut them out, create some fun embellishments. So I'm just trimming this close with my paper snips, my little sign. Snip. Okay, there's that. And then my doggy, I'm just going to come in, start close. He's going to have a little bit of a halo around him, just so I don't take off too much of the shape. And then I'm just, look what I'm doing. My scissors are more or less staying pointing north, right? But my cardstock underneath is twisting all around like a compass needle. So just use your scissors to let you trim it out, but instead of moving your scissors all around, move the cardstock, move the image. Just take your time. Now, when I did my swaps, I stamped like a dozen of these. I actually think I stamped maybe 2 dozen because I was going to sit and do them. But I just trimmed them out. Just, you know, I was watching a show and I just sat down, trimmed them out, no big deal. And then I had them to use on my cards when I was putting them all together. So, but if you're making one card at a time, no big deal. If you're making a bunch of cards, just do a bunch of them all at once and then go back and put them all together. Alright, so there's that. Let's get rid of these scraps. Into the bin they go. Alright, so now I'm going to bring in my dimensional. I'm going to put dimensional on the side. He's just going to go right over there, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive, using the liquid adhesive on the back of the puppy. Put him down here, a little embellishment for some fun. And now I've got my envelope, so let's see. What do I want to put on the envelope? I could do trees for sale again. That would be kind of cute. Just put that right on the envelope. That would get their attention, wouldn't it? So I'm just going to do that right here. Trees for sale. And then for the inside, I've got these, you light up the season, Merry Christmas, or sorry, Christmas greetings, and so very merry. So whatever your choice is, put it on the inside and you are good to go. Alright guys, so I hope that was fun for you, watching me build with Stamparatus, do the quick stamping, and then create the whole card for you. Like I said, this is in the summer, start of July, summer, fall occasions catalog, and it does have coordinating dies in the celebration set that you can earn with a $100 order. So remember, subscribe here to my YouTube channel, especially if you're new. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. That way you get notified whenever I share another project. Here are those dies. So it does have a die for the doggy, for the sign. It's got for the different feet on the tree, so all the trees. And then it's got these fun campers. It's got the fun campers in those dies too. So $100 purchase and you can get the coordinating dies to go with that stamp set. So like I was saying, subscribe here to the YouTube channel so that you know whenever I share a video. You can follow my link over on my blog so that you can see all the details on the project. You can also contact me and be added to my newsletter, which I put out once a week, and then you'll know whether I've posted a blog tutorial or whether I posted a video tutorial, and it'll also keep you up to date on all the new Stampin' Up! Promotions that are going on. So I'd love to hear comments from you, whether you're doing it here on YouTube, whether you're doing it on my blog. Please let me know what you're thinking and do some fun stamping today, and I hope you're enjoying your summer months. But like I said, you can do Christmas cards. They're fun. And I hope you do some fun stamping today. Alright, see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.